This is Station K9, emergency frequency. If you can hear us, something has happened. Something beyond anything we were prepared for. Everything's gone. Every grid, every network, every signal. The entire world has gone dark. The sun, it hit us with a pulse stronger than anything ever recorded. A wall of radiation, invisible, unstoppable, tearing through the atmosphere, frying everything it touched. Satellites went first, then planes. Then the power lines began to hum and burn like veins of light before dying completely. Cities went silent in minutes. The hum of the world, gone. No light from the towers, no glow from the screens, no distant rush of cars. Just the stillness that followed. I don't know how long we'll last here. We've got limited fuel, limited air filters, and an emergency transmitter that's hanging by a thread. But right now, this is all we have. This station, this voice, and the hope that someone, anyone, is still listening. If you're hearing this, stay calm. Stay inside. Don't panic. Find candles, fill water containers, cover your windows. The outside world is not safe the way we know it. The air feels charged, metallic, like it's humming under your skin. Something in the atmosphere has changed. The world feels hollow, like it's holding its breath.
Alex is right. It started with the light, a white flash across the entire horizon, bright enough to erase shadows. It wasn't sunrise, it wasn't a day. It was like the sun blinked. And for a moment, reality blinked with it. Then everything stopped. Engines stalled mid-turn, streetlights flickered and died. Phones, cars, radios all dead at once. The world just froze. I remember looking up, seeing that glow hanging in the sky like it was alive. And then silence. Not the kind of silence you hear, the kind that presses on you, the kind that feels like the whole planet exhaled and forgot to breathe again. We ran here. To the station. It was instinct, I think. We didn't talk. I didn't think so. Just moved. When we arrived, everything was black. No power, no connection, just darkness and the faint smell of burnt plastic, the scent of a world fried from the inside out. By some miracle, our emergency backup still worked, barely. A low buzzing hum like a heartbeat on life support. That tiny sound became everything, proof that something still responded, that not everything had vanished. And so we stayed. This small room, this old transmitter, it's all that's left. The air is cold now, dry and still. The clocks have stopped. The phones don't even give static. It's like time itself faltered when the light came. We don't know what's happening beyond the city, if there's even a city anymore. The skyline disappeared last night when the last fires burned out. All that's left is the echo of what used to be faint, distant, like memory itself is struggling to stay awake. If you're hearing this, hold on to whatever you can. Your voice, your breath, your thoughts, because that might be the only thing still alive.
I can hear the world outside, and it's empty. Not quiet. Empty. There's a difference. Quiet is natural, peaceful, earned. This is hollow. No cars, no birds, no human noise. The hum of streetlights, the faint electric buzz in the walls, the distant rumble of a city, all gone. Even the wind feels different now. Heavy, sluggish, like it's dragging through something unseen. When it brushes past the cracks in the windows, it doesn't whistle. It hums. Low, deep, resonant, like it's carrying a current. You can feel it on your skin if you stand still long enough. A tingling, almost magnetic pull that crawls across your arms and up your spine. It's not hot, not cold. It's like the air has become a living thing. Aware, restless, waiting. You breathe it in and it buzzes behind your eyes. Every movement feels amplified. Every sound unnatural. I've lived through storms, hurricanes, even earthquakes. chaos has rhythm. You can learn to read it. But this is different. This isn't weather. This isn't nature. It's like the planet itself just stopped talking. Everything we built, everything powered, connected, synced, gone. Not broken, not damaged, erased. This isn't destruction in the way we know it. It's silence, engineered by the sun. The collapse didn't come with fire or screams. It came in layers. Circuits died first, then sound, then movement. And now even the air feels uncertain about what to do next.
And that's the hardest part to take in, because everything looks almost normal. We're sitting inside a building filled with machines, blinking lights, wires, the skeleton of civilization. But none of it means anything now. All this metal, this architecture, this design, all useless without current, without power, without that pulse that made the world alive. It's strange to realize how much of our comfort depended on invisible things. Signals, data, electricity, warmth, all of it intangible, and yet the moment it vanished, we became hollow too. The silence doesn't just live outside, it seeps into you. It starts rearranging your thoughts, like it's rewiring the brain to live without noise. From this window, I can see the city's edge. A dark horizon with faint amber flickers where fires still burn. No smoke, just the dull glow of things still giving off heat. Stores, homes, cars. And no one is moving. No shapes, no flashlights. No signs of life. People must have tried to run when the surge hit. You can picture it. Headlights exploding into darkness, engines coughing, brakes locking, panic in the streets, then stillness. Cars left in intersections, doors open, belongings scattered. The sound must have been unbearable. And then it ended all at once. Even now, the air itself feels wrong. It's not wind. It's charged. When I go near the door, I can feel it before I touch the handle. This humming static that raises every hair on my arms. It's like the world outside is full of invisible tension, like a storm that never breaks. Maybe it's radiation. Maybe it's the aftershock of the flare. But part of me thinks it's something deeper. The sound of the earth still trying to remember how to breathe. Sometimes I imagine stepping outside just to feel what's left of it, to see how far the stillness goes. But every time I get close, the static gets stronger, the air gets thicker, and I stop, because it doesn't feel like the world is waiting to be explored anymore. It feels like it's listening.
I checked the generator again. It's holding for now. But the batteries, they're draining faster than expected. It's like the power's bleeding away, faster than physics should allow. The sun's pulse, it didn't just fry circuits. It changed something in the air itself. The instruments that still flicker alive are giving nonsense readings. Magnetic north keeps shifting. The temperature drops, then spikes, then drops again. The compass spins like it's drunk. Whatever hit us, it didn't stop when the light faded. It's still echoing, still washing through the atmosphere like an invisible tide dot. We might be safe here, shielded by concrete and metal, but out there it's different, unstable. Every breath carries particles we can't see, radiation we can't measure. And the strange part, you can feel it. It presses against the windows. The glass hums sometimes, soft, almost like a vibration in your teeth. It's not sound, not in the usual sense. It's like the building is resonating with what's left of the world. We were lucky to survive the first moments. If we'd been driving or in an open field, we'd be gone, flash burned, blinded, or worse. But survival isn't enough anymore. It's a holding pattern, a delay before whatever's next. And if I'm honest, I don't know what's next. Every survival guide we ever wrote assumed a system that still worked. Supply chains, communication, help on the way. But there's no help now. There's no outside world to call. If this flare was strong enough to reach us, to knock out the entire grid. Then we're sitting inside a planet that's just been reset to zero. We built everything on current, and the current is gone. Now all that's left is memory, and this faint hum of a generator that doesn't want to last.
I tried looking outside earlier in the sky. It's wrong. It's not dark, not bright, just wrong. The light doesn't behave like sunlight anymore. It doesn't fall, it hangs. It's this sharp, metallic glow, like someone took the warmth out of day and left only the reflection. You can't look at it for long. It hurts. Not in your eyes, but deeper. Like it's cutting through the back of your skull. The clouds don't move either. They sit, thin and motionless, like they're painted on glass. And when the wind does come, it doesn't make a sound. No rustling, no whistling, no music. Just this low vibration that passes through everything. The air feels heavier now. Breathing, it feels wrong. Too dry, too metallic, like dust and electricity mixed together. Every inhale leaves this faint taste on your tongue like copper. Even the water we stored tastes off, like the charge seeped into it somehow. I can't imagine anyone still alive out there for long. Without shelter, without shielding, the world itself has become hostile. And even here, even surrounded by concrete, I can feel it pressing in. The walls don't feel protective anymore. They feel like thin skin. The silence outside has a weight to it. It pushes at your chest, at your thoughts, the sound of absence. It's not nothing. It's something. Something that fills every space where life used to be. Sometimes, I swear I can hear it. Not sound exactly, but the echo of what should be there. Like the world remembers what it used to sound like, and the memory's still playing in the background, faint and broken. I think that's what's hardest to bear. Not fear, not hunger, but that quiet. That absolute quiet that feels like the planet itself has stopped breathing.
We built the world to run on electricity, on signals, on constant motion. Take that away, and everything unravels. Systems, society, and the human mind itself. Without guidance, without power, without even the hum of the world to anchor them, people struggle to orient themselves. Outside, they're probably wandering aimlessly, following roads that lead nowhere, chasing landmarks that no longer exist, trying to reach... what? We don't know. The flare took that away too. Certainty, structure, normalcy, compasses are useless. The magnetic field is unstable, shifting with every charged particle in the atmosphere. Maps, GPS, any tool we trusted, meaningless. It's adrift, an uncontrolled orbit through a landscape we once understood. Every street, every building, every highway becomes a maze when the world itself refuses to stay in place.
I've seen them. From the station windows, from the faintest glimpses through broken glass. Children, alone, carrying whatever they could grab. Toys, bags, scraps of clothing. No adults, no guidance. It's horrifying, yes, but also strangely quiet. No screams, no shouting, no engines roaring, just the soft shuffle of feet. Movement without purpose. Rivers of flesh flowing down empty streets, drawn by instinct rather than reason. We can't help them. Not today, not like this. Even if we leave the station, the air outside is charged, unpredictable, and lethal in ways we can't fully measure. We can't reach them. All we can do is broadcast. Keep this signal alive. Keep these voices going. Let them know, let anyone who survives, that someone, somewhere, is still talking. Someone remembers. Someone cares. Because in a world that has stopped, in streets emptied of guidance, in skies altered by the sun's wrath, a voice is proof of life. And proof of life may be all that matters now.
It's strange, Mara. We're surrounded by dead machines, yet the silence feels alive. You can almost hear it breathing, pressing against the walls, crawling along old wires, pooling in the corners where the light doesn't reach. It's in everything now. The kind of quiet that watches. It fills the space where sound should be, stretches it thin, until you start hearing things that aren't there, Dot. Sometimes, when I close my eyes, I swear I can hear static, soft, rhythmic, like a pulse. But there's no signal, no transmission. It's just the mind trying to make sense of emptiness, trying to build a pattern where there isn't one. I've caught myself listening to the generator and thinking it's someone breathing. I even turned once, half expecting to see a shadow in the corner. But it's just us, and the hum. Two voices in a dead frequency, keeping each other from disappearing into the static. We're trapped with time stretched into something infinite. You lose the sense of before and after. It's just one long moment, repeating itself. Every flicker of the light, every heartbeat, feels the same as the last. You can't tell if it's day or night, and maybe it doesn't matter anymore. When the world stopped spinning, it stopped marking, and we're left floating somewhere between seconds.
Time is the worst part. You can live with hunger, with fear, with exhaustion, but not with timelessness. Without clocks, without the rhythm of the world, everything dissolves. Minutes bleed into hours, hours into something formless, until the mind can't tell what's memory and what's now Dot. The night outside isn't night anymore. It's everything. An endless dark expanse that presses in from all directions. It doesn't shift. It doesn't pass. It just is. A heavy, unmoving weight, slow and deliberate, like it's waiting for something we can't name Dot and we can't leave. Even a single step outside is a risk. Burns from lingering radiation, air charged with invisible static, shards of debris still falling from who knows where. It's unpredictable. The readings don't make sense. 1 minute, it's quiet. Next, the Geiger counter clicks like rain. The atmosphere is torn open, unstable, leaking in ways no one can predict, Dot. Sometimes I go near the door just to look, and even before I touch the handle, I can feel the electricity crawling up my arms. A warning, maybe, or a reminder that the world beyond this room isn't ours anymore, Dot, so we stayed. We sit behind this microphone, surrounded by dead machines and the ghosts of what used to matter. And we talk, because if we stop talking, even for a little while, the silence might start talking back.
We're living in a new reality. The world outside, the streets, the buildings, the air itself. It's all changed in ways we can't measure anymore. The laws we lived by, electricity, time, motion, they're broken. And with them, the systems we depended on, food, water, medicine. Every step of their existence relied on power, on transport, on precision. Now it's all gone. No refrigeration, no supply chains, no clean water beyond what's stored. We've built a civilization so tightly bound to current and code that without them, it unravels almost instantly. People out there will start feeling it soon. Fatigue, confusion, dehydration, nausea. The body starts to fail when the environment stops obeying the rules, and the mind follows. Without rhythm, without daylight or nightfall, people lose the sense of what's real. Dreams and waking blur together. And when that happens, survival becomes a slow fade, not a fight, Dot. Even the strongest humans aren't built for this. Our strength was always borrowed, from machines, from systems, from signals. Strip those away, and what's left is just instinct. And instinct isn't enough when the world itself is poisoned.
We've been trying to ration our supplies, what little food we had, the bottles of water, the backup fuel. But even here, safe and sheltered, it's not enough. Every day the generator runs, it's one day closer to silence. Every time we transmit, the power drains a little more. And yet we keep doing it, because this radio isn't just equipment anymore. It's our heartbeat, Dot. We used to think communication was about sharing information, about news, updates, coordination. Now it's something smaller and infinitely more important. Hearing a voice, any voice now, is proof that the human mind still exists somewhere out there, that we haven't dissolved completely into the static. It's not the words that matter anymore. It's the sound of being alive. When this signal dies, and it will, that tether to reality will go with it. And I wonder what happens after that. When the last transmission fades into white noise, will the silence swallow us? Or will the static become the new sound of humanity, faint, endless, and everywhere?
And what's worse, the environment outside is changing by the hour. It's no longer the same world we saw even a few hours ago. Temperatures have dropped suddenly. Not the kind of cold that bites your skin, but one that feels empty. The upper atmosphere is unstable. You can feel the air pulsing in waves, like invisible tides washing through the streets. The pressure shifts, subtle at first, but enough to make your ears pop, your breath shorten. It's like the planet itself is trying to find a new balance, and failing dot. These aren't just weather patterns. They're echoes of the solar pulse still rippling through the atmosphere, bending what's left of Earth's systems. The magnetic field is fractured, compasses spin, birds are gone. Even the insects, the ones that usually survive everything, they've vanished. It's subtle now, but small changes compound fast. And people outdoors, they'll feel it in ways they won't understand. Headaches, dizziness, confusion, then panic. The kind of panic that spreads faster than fire. Because it's not about fear of death. It's the fear of losing what's real.
It's already starting, Alex. Before we came on air, I looked out the narrow window near the stairs and I saw someone at the edge of the street. They were crouched near a small fire they'd built out of papers, old boxes, whatever they could find. They weren't calling out or crying. They were talking, low, constant, rhythmic, to no one. Not prayer. Don't panic. Just muttering, like they were trying to hold a conversation with the world that no longer answers back. I think that's what happens when structure breaks, when everything familiar, the hum of lights, the noise of life, the motion, disappears. The mind tries to build its own rhythm, and it does it through sound, through repetition, through whatever scraps of language remain. Humans weren't made to exist in absolute collapse. We need order, direction, a clock, a reason. Take those away, and the mind starts to invent them, even if it has to talk to ghosts of memory to feel alive. I keep wondering, how long before we start doing the same? Before we start speaking just to hear our own voices, just to prove we still exist inside this silence?
We have to keep talking. For anyone still hearing this, anyone who's managed to hold on to a radio, a hand crank receiver, anything that still breathes signal, listen carefully. Stay calm. Don't waste energy. Don't give in to the chaos outside. Ration what you can. Food, light, movement. If you have to move, do it with purpose, not fear. And whatever you do, don't leave shelter without thinking, Dot. The solar pulse didn't just end when the sky dimmed. The radiation it left behind lingers in unpredictable bursts. It's invisible. You can't see it, can't smell it. But you feel it. Metal conducts differently now. Water, soil, even concrete. They all carry unstable charges. A single spark can be enough to stop a heart or ignite dry air. Every step outside could be dangerous in ways we don't yet understand. Treat the ground like it's alive. Treat the light like it's untrustworthy.
And if you have children or vulnerable people with you, keep them close. Keep them warm. Tell them stories, keep their minds somewhere safe, even if the world isn't. If you're alone, don't close your eyes for long. Stay awake if you can. Stay hydrated, even if the water tastes strange. And most of all, protect your mind, Dot, because the most dangerous thing now isn't the sun. It isn't cold. It's panic. That creeping realization that no one's coming to help. It's the exhaustion that makes you forget why you're still trying. It's the silence that gets inside your thoughts and starts whispering that maybe it's easier to stop moving. Don't listen to that voice. You are not alone. Not yet. Somewhere, someone else is still alive, still listening, still trying to hold on to what's human. That's why we keep broadcasting. That's why this station matters. Not because we can fix anything, but because we can remind you that you're still part of something, even if it's just this fragile thread of sound moving through dead air.
Even here I feel it creeping in. The silence, the isolation, the slow unraveling of what it means to be alive. It's not just outside, it's inside too. It moves through the air like dust, through the walls, through the pauses between our words. The endless dark presses in on every thought, whispering that everything beyond these walls is gone, or going. And I can feel it. That truth settling deep in my chest, Dot. Everything outside is dead or dying. Cities are just hollow shapes now, skeletons lit by firelight. The sound of humanity, engines, chatter, laughter, it's all been erased in a single flash. And now, what's left of us sits here in the quiet, speaking into static, pretending we still matter. Our minds. They're fragile, Mara. Fragile in ways we never noticed when the world was loud. Noise protected us, gave us something to anchor to. But now, every second of silence feels like it's peeling layers off who we are. That's why we keep talking. Not because we think we'll be heard, but because the act of speaking keeps the cracks from spreading too far. It's how we fight, with words, not weapons, to prove it's still possible to reason, to plan, to exist.
And to remember, every word we say, every breath we send through this failing transmitter is proof that life once filled this frequency. Even if the world forgets, this signal remembers. Somewhere in the static, our voices will drift, maybe for years, maybe forever, faint echoes of two people who refuse to go silent. That's what matters now. Not survival in the old sense, not food, not comfort, but memory. To remind whatever comes after, if anything ever listens, that we were here, that humans once looked up at the sun and believed they could outlast it. Even as the sky fell and the earth went dark, we still spoke. Dot. We didn't vanish quietly. We left a trace, fragile, flickering, but real.
For as long as the batteries last, we speak. Not for rescue, there's no rescue coming. Not for answers. The questions are too big now, too quiet to be answered. We speak because silence is the edge of the cliff. Once you stop talking, once you stop reaching outward, the mind folds inward, and that's when it ends. The act of speaking, of describing, of remembering, of naming what still exists. It keeps us tethered, keeps thought from dissolving into the hum of the generator and the pulse of fear behind the eyes. Dot. In this new world, speaking is survival. The voice is the last technology that still works. It doesn't need a signal tower or a power grid. Just lungs, breath, and will. Even if no one is listening. Even if these words die the second they leave the microphone. It's the ritual that matters. The defiance of silence.
And maybe that's enough. Maybe that's all we can do, talk. Not to rebuild, not to save, but to witness. To leave some kind of imprint in the dark. Dot. We describe what we see, what we feel, so that somewhere, in time, in memory, in static, someone might hear and understand. A map, not of the land, but of what it meant to live through the ending. A record of breath, thought, grief, a guide for ghosts in the wreckage of the world. Because that's what we are now, guides. Not rescuers, not survivors, just two voices holding a light over the ruins, whispering, "This was the world. This was us."
It's strange. Even the word world feels wrong now. It used to mean something alive, motion, connection, sound. Now it's just a shadow stretched thin over the wreckage, a fragile memory playing itself on repeat, like a film burned at the edges. What's left of it isn't reality. It's a simulation of what used to be, buildings without power, roads without direction, voices without audience. And yet, we walk through it. We breathe it. We broadcast it, clinging to scraps of meaning, like survivors clutching pages from a burned book dot. Maybe that's what it means to be human now. To keep naming what's gone so it doesn't disappear completely. To say sky when the sky is wrong. To say light when there's none left. To keep pretending language can hold back the dark. Every word we speak is a thread, holding what's real and what's lost together, even as both start to blur.
Stay awake. Keep your eyes open, even when there's nothing to see. Talk to each other, even if all that comes out is a whisper. The voice is everything now. It's the only proof that we still exist in this silence. Watch the lights flicker. That small, trembling glow is the pulse of resistance. It means the generator still lives, that there's still power in the bones of the world. Record every detail, not just for memory, but for mercy. The shape of the smoke, the color of the horizon, the way your heartbeat slows between sentences. Because one day, maybe years from now, maybe never, someone may find this. A broken tape, a static-filled signal caught in the air. And they'll need to know that someone, somewhere, stayed human until the end. That even as the world dissolved, we remembered what it felt like to care, to speak, to feel. That's what this broadcast is, Alex. Not a warning, not a call for help. It's a confession whispered into the void that humanity didn't go quietly.
We are that someone. The voices in the dark. The last thread between what was and what still is. We are alive, not in the way the world once defined it, with noise and light and motion, but in the quiet, in the persistence of speaking. We are broadcasting, into the ash, into the static, into whatever remains of the sky. If anyone hears this, even a century from now, even by accident, know that we were here, that humanity didn't vanish. It spoke until the power died.
We are human, even as the world forgets how to be. Even as language loses its shape and memory turns to dust, we remember ourselves. Not through machines, not through progress and an art, but through the sound of a voice refusing to disappear. Maybe that's all humanity ever was, a fragile noise against the silence. And here we are, Alex, keeping that noise alive.
If this is the end, it's not a bad one. To speak until silence takes us, that's something pure. No fear, no begging, just presence.
Yes, presence. That's what remains when everything else is gone. A pulse, a signal, a breath.
This is Station K9. Still here, still human.
Still human. Alex, the generator's hum is lower now. It's faint, slower, like it's breathing through water. I check the readings on the panel. The voltage is slipping minute by minute. If we push it, maybe an hour. 2, if we cut the lights. After that, we're on our own. No heat, no signal, no light. Just the kind of dark that fills every corner and waits. Cold concrete and silence. I keep thinking about how strange it is. This machine has been the heartbeat of our world, and now even it sounds tired. Like it wants to rest, too.
Yeah, I felt it. The air's colder now, heavier. You can feel it on your hands. That dry sting, that weight that doesn't move. It's sinking into the walls, into the cables, into us. The temperature's dropping inside the station already. I can see our breath when we speak. Even with every blanket, every layer of clothing, it's still creeping in. Slow, certain, steady. It's not the kind of cold that bites. It's the kind that settles in your bones and stays there. The windows are frosting at the edges. Tiny crystals forming patterns, spreading like veins. It's subtle, but it's real. We're supposed to be insulated, protected, but the cold doesn't care. It finds its way in, like everything else. The silence, the fear, the realization that no one's coming. It's not the storm outside we're fighting anymore. It's the slow unraveling inside, of warmth, of sound, of everything that made this place feel alive.
The air feels thin, too. Not like oxygen's gone, not yet, but heavier. Each breath scratches the throat, burns a little, and my lungs ache in a way that isn't from cold or fear. I keep thinking about what I read, how ionized particles can twist oxygen molecules, make the blood carry less of it. You don't notice it at first, you just start blinking slower, thinking slower, and then the world starts to feel further away. We don't have the instruments to prove it, but I can feel it. It's like breathing ghosts.
Yeah, that's the thing about this flare. It wasn't just a pulse that fried electronics. It rewrote the sky, altered the upper atmosphere, split molecules apart, filled the clouds with charged dust. What used to protect us, the magnetosphere, the ozone, got ripped open for a few minutes, long enough to scatter invisible poison through the air. We're not in the kind of danger that drops you instantly. No burns, no sickness that shows right away. But the cumulative effect, it grinds you down. Fatigue, headaches, nausea, and the worst part, mental slowing. Even the strongest minds start to slip, to drift. That's why we keep talking, to fight the drift, because silence is the first symptom of surrender.
I notice something worse. Sleep. It doesn't work anymore. We lie down, close our eyes, and for a while it feels like drifting. But when we wake, it's like nothing happened. The body doesn't rest. The mind doesn't reset. It's as if time doesn't move when we sleep. It just stops. And when we open our eyes, it starts again, right where it left off. The seconds feel like they stretch, as if they're alive, waiting for us to notice them. Even dreams, if you can call them that, don't feel like dreams anymore. They're memories, fractured and looping. Sometimes I hear voices in them, faint whispers, familiar but hollow, like they were replaying from old transmissions. Maybe they're people we lost. Or maybe it's just my mind recycling sound to keep from collapsing.
I know what you mean. When I close my eyes, I don't see darkness anymore. It's static. White noise like an old screen left on with no signal. Shapes form in it for a moment, then dissolve. Sometimes I swear I see movement behind my eyelids, silhouettes walking in fog. It's not sleep, it's observation. We're still awake, just in a slower frequency. I think that's what happens when the brain's cut off from the world's rhythm. No sunrise, no electricity, no heartbeat of civilization.
The air feels different too, thicker. Every breath feels like I'm pulling in weight instead of air. My lungs ache, not from effort, from something invisible. Ionized particles, radiation, dust, maybe even microscopic debris from burnt satellites or ash from the upper atmosphere. It's all floating out there. We breathe it in, and our bodies pretend everything's fine. But the ache is growing. It's subtle, like guilt, like knowing something is wrong but not being able to name it.
That flare, it didn't just destroy circuits. It rewired the air. The atmosphere's charged differently now. Even simple things, water, soil, metal, they're not the same conductors anymore. The planet's chemistry has shifted in small ways we can't even track. Every spark, every static pulse, every shimmer in the distance might be the Earth trying to rebalance itself. We built a world on precision, networks, timing, data, electricity. And now it's all chaos. The physics still work, but not how we remember them.
It feels intelligent. Like the world's not just broken, it's changing, responding. The silence isn't empty, it's listening. Sometimes I swear I hear faint patterns in the static, like breathing or distant speech beneath the noise. Not interference, not man-made. Something deeper, older.
I've been hearing that too. At first, I thought it was signal bounce, residual EM ghosts from old satellites or radio towers. But there's no infrastructure left strong enough to cause it. The static has a tone. It modulates. If you listen long enough, it feels almost like a voice trying to form words. Not human words, rhythm, pulse, intent. Something primal. Sometimes I think we're not alone in this collapse. Not in the way people mean.
So we keep talking, to hold our own voices against the static, because if we stop, the silence might start talking back. I saw some smoke rising further away. I don't know what's left burning. Maybe an old generator, maybe gas lines ruptured and caught. It's strange. The fires don't move the way they used to. The air is heavier now, so the smoke just hangs there, like a ghost refusing to leave. Probably abandoned cars, power stations, maybe a warehouse. Everything that relied on power is dead. Nothing survives without intervention. And now, the people who left earlier, the ones I saw walking down the streets, they're probably exhausted, confused, dehydrated. Some of them might still be trying to find shelter, but they'll lose their sense of direction before long. When the brain's starved of electricity, its own kind of charge, it starts shutting pieces of itself down. They won't last long.
We have to think about our own survival. Food, water, heat, oxygen. The generator's giving us just enough to keep the air circulating, but every minute eats more fuel. The batteries are holding, but not for much longer. Supplies are limited, and we can't leave this building safely. We rationed yesterday. We'll ration again. Even then, it's going to get harder every hour. The worst part isn't hunger. It's the awareness. You feel the calories disappearing, the moisture drying out of your mouth, the cold crawling through layers of clothing until it finds skin. You feel your body turning against you in real time.
I tried not to think about it earlier, but I looked at our last bottle of water. It's half full, half. And every sip feels like theft from the person I'll be tomorrow. The mind starts making strange calculations in survival mode. You start thinking in trade. One breath for one heartbeat, one swallow for one more hour awake. It's mechanical. Animals. And that scares me more than the silence.
We were never built for stillness. Humans collapse when the noise stops, when there's no hum of power lines, no city rhythm. The brain looks for patterns to fill the void. That's when panic starts. We've both seen what it does to people. The blank stares, the trembling hands, the repetition. Once panic sets in, reasoning dies fast. That's why we have to keep broadcasting. Not just for others, for us. Every word is a defense against that slide into nothing.
So we speak, even if it's just into static, because silence is starvation too. I'm scared. Not of dying, not yet, but of what the waiting does to your mind. It eats at you slowly, like rust spreading beneath the surface. Every second stretches thin, and the silence fills with thoughts you don't want. You start thinking about people you'll never see again, faces that might already be gone. You start to imagine them calling your name, walking down streets that don't exist anymore. You wonder if the sky still looks the same above their heads, if there even is a sky anymore, or if it's just ash and static. Being awake for so long, thinking about everything lost, imagining what's outside, it's corrosive. It's not panic, and not panic burns fast. This is slower. It seeps in like cold air under a locked door until you don't remember what warmth felt like. And when it gets quiet enough, you hear things. The hum of the generator sounds like breathing. The creak of the floor sounds like footsteps. The mind turns everything into company because it can't bear to be alone. It makes you doubt what's real.
We have each other. That's why we keep broadcasting. The act of talking, of narrating, is a tether to reality. When we speak, we pull ourselves back from the edge. Every sentence reminds us we're still here, that there's still sound, still thought, still control. It's not just about hope, it's about structure. Talking gives the hours a shape. It gives the dark something to echo against. Without it, The silence becomes too dense, too heavy to think through. We anchor each other. That's the only way this works. Your voice holds me here, Mara. Without it, you drift. And drifting is worse than dying. Drifting is when you stop being part of the world, but still remember what it felt like to be alive. That's what's happening out there. Millions of people adrift, wandering in silence, waiting for something that will never hum back to life.
Sometimes I imagine the streets outside, empty and frozen, like the city itself has decided to stop existing. It's strange. I can see it in my mind clearer than I ever could when it was alive. The outlines of cars, the faint shimmer of glass reflecting a light that doesn't exist anymore. Billboards standing like monuments to noise, their colors drained, messages meaningless now. I imagine papers drifting through intersections, fluttering for no one. Shops with their doors open, mannequins staring through cracked glass as if waiting for customers who'll never return. The silence stretches over everything. Not peace, but paralysis. Even the fires that still burn seem reluctant, flickering low, starved of oxygen. The city isn't dead. It's paused, mid-breath, caught between what it was and what it can't become. And I wonder if anyone is left to see it, or if we're the last witnesses to its reflection.
Probably not. The ones who tried to leave likely didn't survive the heat, radiation, or disorientation. The first wave, the pulse, wasn't just light. It scrambled the air, cooked the circuits in every living thing that depended on power. Even the compass in your head, your sense of direction, becomes unreliable when the world's magnetism shifts. They must have walked until they couldn't. Feet blistered, throats dry, eyes burning from ultraviolet glare. And when they realized the roads weren't taking them anywhere, that north, south, east, west had lost meaning, they probably just stopped, collapsed beside their cars, their homes, each other. The roads are littered with debris, metal husks, burned out trucks, glass shattered into glittering dust. No GPS, no signals, no hope of rescue.
Then why are we still talking? Why keep the broadcast alive if no one can hear us?
Because talking is proof. Proof that someone, somewhere, survived the first moments. Proof that human minds can still function under extreme stress. Proof that someone remembered how to reason, how to care, how to exist.
And the station. It feels smaller now, tighter. The walls seem to close in as the cold spreads. The shadows of wires and crates elongate with a flickering light. I lie down for a moment and feel like I'm floating in darkness, separated from my own body. It's terrifying, but I have to speak into the mic to remind myself I'm here.
Exactly. We're broadcasting to anchor ourselves. Even if no one's listening, even if no one survives to hear it. The words are a lifeline, a declaration. We existed. We survived the initial collapse. And that counts.
I wonder, how long before the generator dies completely? 2 hours? Less? Then it's darkness. Absolute darkness.
Then we survive by memory and by the human instinct to endure. We'll keep talking even if the mic dies, speaking to each other, whispering, remembering, keeping the mind awake.
And when exhaustion comes, what then? We'll keep talking until the last spark of energy fades, until the air itself feels too heavy to move through. We'll keep talking until it's impossible to stand. And even then, we remember each other.
Because memory is the last technology that can't be destroyed. Power can fail, radios can die, the sky can burn, but a mind remembering, speaking, thinking, that's indestructible.
Then we'll speak until the world itself forgets to listen, until the streets are empty, until the fires are gone, until the air is still.
We're alive now. We'll stay alive in thought, in voice, in memory, even when the world has nothing left.
And for anyone listening, If you find this broadcast one day, know that someone stayed human, even as the earth itself turned against the world we built.
We stayed alive. We stayed aware. We stayed human.
We speak for those who can't, for those who will never speak again, for the silence that follows.
We are Station K9, still on air, still human, still alive.
And we will remain so, for as long as we can.
The generator is sputtering. I can hear the hum warping, like it's straining to hold itself together. Every flicker of the lights makes the shadows jump across the walls. The warmth is fading. I can feel it pulling out of the room, seeping into the concrete. If the batteries fail completely, we'll be in darkness. No radio, no light, nothing.
I wrap myself in every blanket I could find, but it's not enough. Even sitting still, I can feel the cold biting through layers of cloth. My fingers are stiff. The air tastes metallic, heavy, like the storm left it charged with something I can't measure. Breathing feels laborious. Every inhalation is a reminder that we are alive, and survival is exhausting.
Water is next. We rationed the bottles we had yesterday, but we've barely made a dent in the hours we've spent awake. The hum of hunger is constant. Every movement requires energy we can't spare. Even speaking, every syllable takes something from us. But we speak anyway, because staying silent is worse.
I've been thinking about the streets outside, the fires burned out, cars abandoned, buildings silent. Every shadow is a memory of what used to be. We can't go outside, too dangerous. But I keep imagining the scene, and it gnaws at my mind. The quiet isn't just absence, it's a weight pressing down, and it grows heavier every hour.
I can feel it too. Isolation makes time dissolve. Minutes stretch into hours. Hours bleed into days. We count them, but the counting doesn't matter. The world stopped, and all that's left is this station, these walls, this generator.
Even the generator feels alive now. Every sputter, every flare of light. It's a heartbeat in the dark. Without it, there's nothing. We're tethered to it like it's a lifeline, and when it falters, so do we.
The temperature continues to drop. I checked the thermometer earlier. It's already below freezing at the edges of the room. Condensation is forming on the walls. Frost on the windows. We're insulated, but we can't fight nature forever.
The water supply is minimal. We sip slowly, savoring every drop. Even that rationing takes focus, concentration, discipline. The human body notices scarcity immediately. Hunger, fatigue, subtle shakes. We ignore them as best we can, but the awareness is always there, scratching at the edges of thought.
We're keeping each other awake, talking, narrating every small detail. Lights flicker. The hum of the generator warps. Water drips in the corner, echoing like a clock. Time isn't moving outside. The world is frozen, but inside us it's unraveling.
I had a moment a few minutes ago. I thought I heard footsteps outside. I froze, heart pounding, every nerve stretched. I knew it was impossible. No one is out there. But the mind looks for signs, patterns. The human brain tries to make sense of absence. Even a shadow in the corner seems alive.
The outside world is dead. The roads are littered with debris, abandoned cars, fallen wires. Fires have burned themselves out. Even the clouds seem frozen in place. It's a landscape of stillness and ruin. And in the midst of it, we cling to life, to warmth, to memory.
The generator falters again. Lights flicker across the ceiling. The shadows stretch and shrink in rhythm with the hum. I can feel the cold deep in my spine. Every breath burns my lungs, but we keep talking, because silence is worse. Because to stop is to give in.
We've been awake for hours, maybe a day, maybe more. I've stopped counting. Sleep would be dangerous. The mind drifts when you sleep, and we can't afford drift. We need awareness, vigilance, concentration, even at the cost of exhaustion.
Food. The last rations are almost gone. Every bite is precious. Every swallow reminds me that we're still alive. The hum of hunger is constant, and yet it sharpens the mind, makes every sound, every flicker, every change in temperature a warning.
This station, our anchor, is small, confined, but that's everything. The walls, the generator, the radio. It's a bubble of survival in a dead world. Outside, there's nothing. No rescue, no hope, no signal, only ruin.
And we endure, we talk, we remember, we describe, we ration our thoughts and supplies. We resist collapse in every possible way, because collapse is not just the world outside, it's the mind inside.
We have to fight both. The world is dead, but we are alive. The body is weak, but the mind can still tether us. The generator hums, the cold presses in. We breathe, we survive, we speak.
For those listening, if anyone ever does hear our voices, know that someone stayed awake, someone remembered, someone spoke.
We are Station K9, still alive, still human, still speaking.
And we will continue, for as long as we can.
The generator's hum is fading. I've been listening to it for hours, but now it warps. Every pulse stretches and trembles. I can feel the warmth leaving the room, seeping out through walls and floors. Even bundled in blankets, the cold finds the cracks. Fingers, toes, neck, lungs. The station feels enormous now, cavernous, empty, alive with absence.
I'm shivering uncontrollably. Even my teeth hurt. Every muscle aches from sitting too long, from huddling for warmth, from tension. I can taste the last of our water, metallic, thin, and it's not enough. The throat feels dry no matter how much I sip. It's hunger and thirst and exhaustion all rolled together, pressing down like a physical weight.
I've noticed the lights flicker again. Shadows stretching across the walls, dancing like they have a life of their own. I know it's just the generator, but the mind? The mind begins to see more. Movement in empty corners. Shapes that aren't there. We talk to anchor ourselves. Without speech, silence becomes hallucination.
Every breath hurts. Even simple motions take energy we don't have. But I keep talking because the sound of my own voice reminds me I exist. That I am alive. That we are alive. Even as the world outside has stopped moving.
I peeked at the windows earlier, frost creeping along the edges, ice forming on metal, condensation freezing before it drips. Outside, the streets are white with ash, debris frozen in place. Even the air is thick with particles, holding a static charge. One wrong step, one contact with metal, and it could arc. Electricity trapped in the world, waiting for a conductor.
We ration what little food we have left. Each bite is precious. Each sip of water is a reminder that survival is conscious effort, not chance. Our minds start replaying memories, trivial moments, faces, conversations, over and over. It's comforting and cruel, because it reminds us of what we've lost.
We're in a new kind of time now. Minutes stretch, hours dissolve, and the human mind begins to invent rhythms to survive. I check the generator obsessively. I check the fuel. I check the temperature. Every detail is life or death. Even small lapses in attention could cost us.
Sleep is impossible. Not that we could rest. The cold, the hunger, the unease keeps us awake. And even if we could, we can't trust ourselves to wake up on time. Even microseconds of unconsciousness feel like surrender.
Our speech is slowing. Pauses stretch longer. We both know what's coming. The generator will fail. Lights will die. The station will fall silent. and still, we speak.
It's harder now to keep a coherent thought. The hunger gnaws, the cold seeps, the air feels thinner. Even talking, forming sentences, takes effort, but we cling to it. The voice is our anchor. The mic, the station, the broadcast, all lifelines.
Outside, the world continues to decay. Fires burn intermittently where fuel remains. Windless streets carry frozen ash. Buildings sag with fatigue. Infrastructure is broken. Nothing moves. And humans who tried to escape? Most are gone. The rest wander blindly, exhausted, confused, desperate.
I keep imagining them. The ones who walked out into the cold, the charged air, the still streets. I wonder how long they lasted. Minutes, hours, a day. And yet even imagining them keeps my mind alert. We can't let our brains drift into fantasy. We must observe, record, and speak.
The generator faltered again. Short, deep stutter. A faint hiss from the circuits. Lights dimmed. The room feels colder already. The warmth is fleeing, and soon the hum itself will die.
I feel it in my bones. The chill, the exhaustion, the hunger, all of it presses down like a weight. But I speak anyway, because silence would swallow me entirely, because this voice is life itself now.
We've been awake for so long I've lost sense of how long. The hum of the generator has been the only constant. Its fading signals the approach of true darkness. And still, I speak. Still, we speak.
Every word now carries weight. Every breath is effort. We ration not only food and water, but also energy for speech. Yet we continue, because speaking is surviving.
If the generator dies, we move to candlelight. Everything will be dim, shadows stretching and warping with every flicker. We'll have only ourselves and each other. But that's enough. We anchor ourselves in voice, in presence, in awareness.
And we endure. The cold bites, the hunger gnaws, the air grows heavy. But even now we speak. Because to stop is to disappear into the silence that has already claimed the world outside.
We are human. We survive by thought, by voice, by memory. Even if the outside world is gone, we exist here. We endure. We broadcast.
And if anyone ever finds this, know that someone stayed awake, someone spoke, someone remembered, even as the earth itself went dark.
We are Station K9. Still alive, still human, still speaking.
And we will continue, for as long as we can.
We're not alone in this, though the world outside our city is gone in practical terms. Reports we've managed to piece together, from faint emergency frequencies that flicker and die, it's catastrophic. Europe is blacked out, entire grids fried, communications gone, airports, highways, even the most basic supply chains, destroyed overnight. People are wandering, lost, trapped in cities with no power, no heat, no information.
Across Asia, it's worse. Reports of massive railway lines welded shut by heat, electronics burned in a single pulse. Ships are stranded at sea, their navigation systems dead. Coastal cities are in chaos. Flood control systems failed, pumps frozen or inactive. Without power, water treatment plants can't operate. Drinking water is scarce. Disease is going to spread fast.
North America, entire regions are dark. Satellite networks fried, communications dead, air traffic grounded permanently in some areas. Even rural communities, often isolated, are cut off completely. Food rots in warehouses. Fuel cannot be pumped. And people panic when their world stops.
South America, Africa, the effects are spreading through the atmosphere, through the grid. Hospitals, even if generators work for a day, can't sustain themselves. Medical supplies are trapped, transportation impossible. People are improvising, scavenging, abandoning everything they built. And with no news, rumors and fear spread faster than any virus.
The oceans are affected too. Ships at sea stranded, communication impossible. Tides shift slightly due to atmospheric ionization. Electromagnetic disturbances could even affect migratory animals. Life itself feels altered, subtle, silent, catastrophic.
This isn't a temporary blackout. This is a collapse of systems the world depends on. Power grids, satellites, water, transport, emergency services, gone. And when infrastructure collapses, human society struggles to survive the first night, let alone the months to come.
Even the climate feels wrong. Storm patterns disrupted. The upper atmosphere shifted. Northern lights are visible far south. Beautiful, but a reminder of charged particles still surging. The sky is strange, restless, alive in a way we can't predict.
And humans, everywhere, are realizing the fragility of what we call civilization. Markets, governments, communication networks, all meaningless now. Chaos rises slowly, creeping like water filling a basin. People panic, resources vanish, communities fracture. Even those who survived the initial event are vulnerable now to cold, to hunger, to disease, to fear itself.
What we are witnessing, what the world is enduring, is a global pause, a reset forced by a single solar flare. Electricity gone, technology is dead, supply chains halted, food, fuel, and water are scarce. And humanity is learning how fragile it truly is.
We broadcast this so that someone, somewhere, understands. Not just our city, not just our region, the entire planet is changed. Survival is no longer guaranteed, and the psychological weight is staggering. People are seeing the limits of their own endurance.
And yet, we endure. We speak. We observe. We remember. Even as the world fractures and dies around us, we cling to consciousness, to life, to memory.
This broadcast is a testament, not just for our survival, but for the world that used to be. Every city in chaos, every blackout, every abandoned street, it's part of the story. And through it all, we continue to speak.
It started yesterday, but it feels like a lifetime. The solar flare hit, electronics fried, communication dead. We woke to silence. No hum of power, no phone signals, no internet, nothing. Just the world stopped.
The station is our anchor, concrete walls, steel doors, a single generator humming faintly. The streets outside are empty, cars abandoned. Fires burn themselves out. The air smells strange, metallic, charged, heavy, and still, we speak.
The generator is weak. Every flicker of the lights makes shadows dance across the walls. The warmth is fleeting. Even in blankets, the cold bites deep. Every breath is effort.
Water is rationed, food is rationed, hunger gnaws, fatigue presses. Every word we speak takes energy. But silence is worse. It makes the mind drift, hallucinate, and despair. And still, we speak.
Outside, the world is frozen, but not dead. The streets carry ash, debris, twisted metal. Fires that should have died smolder in silence. People, those who tried to leave, most are gone. The rest wander, lost, confused, panicked.
Sleep is impossible. Even lying down feels dangerous. The mind wants to drift, to rest. But the station is our only tether. The only way to survive is awareness, concentration, voice. And so we speak.
Candles now. Generator failed. Dim light flickers across frozen walls. Every shadow stretches, every movement magnified. The cold presses in. Even breathing is painful. Every syllable takes effort, and yet we speak.
Our fingers are stiff. Our bodies ache. The water is gone. Food is nearly gone. The world outside is silent but alive with danger. The air charged, frozen streets, debris, collapsing infrastructure. And still, we speak.
The global picture, it's catastrophic. Europe, total blackouts, grids fried, communication dead, airports grounded, highways impassable, supply chains gone, people wander, trapped, desperate.
Asia. Railways fused by heat, ships stranded at sea, coastal cities flooded, hospitals fail, water treatment stops, disease spreads, panic rises.
North America, entire regions dark, satellites fried, air traffic grounded indefinitely. Even rural areas are cut off. Food rots, fuel is trapped, people are panicking, wandering, scavenging.
South America, Africa, similar chaos. Infrastructure fails, medical supplies trapped, communities fracture, resources vanish. Fear spreads faster than anything else.
Oceans are affected too. Tides slightly altered, currents unpredictable, ships stranded. Even wildlife is affected by atmospheric ionization.
The climate itself seems wrong. Storm patterns disrupted, auroras visible far south, air charged, restless. The planet reminds us how fragile civilization really is.
Markets, governments, communications, meaningless now. Society struggles. Survival is immediate. Panic is everywhere. And yet, we endure. We speak.
Back here, the station is everything. Our home, our prison, our lifeline. Every corner of concrete and steel carries shadows now. Every movement is an effort. Every breath is a struggle. We speak to remain human.
Memory is now our greatest tool. We remember warmth, sunlight, voices, life before collapse. It keeps us tethered to sanity, and speaking preserves it.
Even when shadows move in candlelight, even when the cold bites deeper, we speak. Because to stop is to vanish into silence, and silence now rules the world outside.
We speak for ourselves. We speak for those lost. We speak for anyone who might hear one day.
We are alive, frozen, hungry, exhausted, and still, we speak.
Station K9. Alone. Cold. Humans. Alive.
If you find this, know someone stayed awake, someone remembered, someone spoke, we spoke.